Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's May and today we're going to be discussing all of TUOMAS' lyrics about TARJA, part 2. If you have not seen part 1, please go ahead and watch that first because that's going to have all of the background and it's going to have the first 4 albums. I also did put a couple of disclaimers in that video just in case people haven't seen the first one. I'm just going to kind of summarize them again here, but please go and watch the beginning of that video because I explain everything about like why I'm making these videos and kind of like what I'm basing it off of, like kind of the evidence and stuff, but I'm not going to reiterate that. But I will just summarize the disclaimer again. I have done a 9-part video series all about Nightwish's albums, and I've gone through my lyrical interpretations of like kind of the general interpretations there because Nightwish's songs are so complex, they have so many different meanings. These videos are just going to be dedicated to interpreting the lyrics as if TUOMAS was writing with TARJA in mind. I'm not saying that's the absolute truth. I'm not saying that I know for a fact that he was in love with her. I just think that it's a very common interpretation and something that I wanted to explore in these videos. Also, because we're going to get into the diss tracks in this video with Dark Passion Play, I do want to just reiterate that when I am interpreting the lyrics from those songs, I am not saying that I agree with TUOMAS' side of the story, and when I do TARJA's videos, I'm not saying I completely agree with her side either. We don't know exactly what happened. I'm not trying to take sides in these videos. I am just simply interpreting what I think the song lyrics mean, and I think it's funny. I love how they just like clap back at each other in their lyrics. Anyway, so with that being said, let's get into it. Like I said, I did Angels Fall First, Oceanborn, Wishmaster, and Sentry Child in the other video. This is going to be for Once and Dark Passion Play. So we are going to start with Wish I Had an Angel on Once. Apparently this song was written out of anger when people were hitting on TUOMAS' girlfriend at a bar. I don't know if I fully buy that because of TARJA's pseudonym as the Angel, like that's what fans and like everyone referred to her as. The chorus and the bridge are especially what make me doubt that. Like, I wish I had an angel for one moment of love. I wish I had your angel. Your Virgin Mary undone. I'm in love with my lust. Burning angel wings to dust. I wish I had your angel tonight. It's kind of harkening back to like those playful, like lustful lyrics on Angels Fall First, Oceanborn, and Wishmaster before things took that darker turn on Sentry Child and it was just about the longing and that playfulness was kind of lost. But this has kind of a darker tone to it still, and especially the part that says, old loves they die hard, old lies they die harder. From the lyrics and just like assumptions, like she was his first love, like the first person that he had a crush on and everything, and like they went to school together, so it's like old loves they die hard. Because what we're seeing, I'm gonna kind of explain it, but kind of how I see the evolution is on the first 3 albums it was kind of playful, like he was in love with her and it was like unrequited love, but it wasn't too serious yet. And then like in between Wishmaster and Sentry Child was when she got together with Marcello, so all of a sudden it was like I have no chance, like hope is truly lost, and everything kind of took a darker turn, and it was sort of starting to be like, oh, the unrequited love, I still have like a tiny bit of hope, it's like what I'm wishing for, but it's also causing me pain. And then on this album it's like all about the pain, and so it's like it's dying hard, like it's so painful is how I see that. He's like trying to get over her because of the toll the unrequited love is taking on him. Nemo I don't think is fully about her or anything, it's just kind of about how he was feeling, but I do think that the unrequited love contributed to that. So like the oh how I wish for soothing rain, all I wish is a dream again, my loving heart lost in the dark, for hope I'd give my everything. Like I kind of see how that could relate. Like I wish for soothing rain to calm this pain and turmoil that I'm feeling. I wish to dream again because all hope has been lost, and my loving heart, like this heart that has so much love to give, is lost in the dark because it has nowhere to go, no one to receive it, and he would give anything to hope again. So I could kind of see like how that could relate to that, and just like with his struggles with unrequited love, that kind of contributing to him feeling like no one or nothing. And then the Siren, I feel like I have to mention, like it has fantasy lyrics, but TARJA is the Siren, like people also refer to her as that besides the angel, so I feel like it could be potentially related to her. It could just be referencing her voice, but if we want to like take it really far, it could be like, you know, sirens lure men to their deaths on the sea. Like he could be kind of using that as a metaphor for like how he was in love with her and her voice and is now paying the price for that by all the pain that he's going through. It's probably not that deep, but I just came up with that, so I thought I'd throw it in here. Sorry that my voice is like hoarse AF. I have been filming all day, so we're Work with me. Dead Gardens is about writer's block, like I talked about in the Once video. It's about like loss of inspiration and considering giving up on Nightwish, and I do believe that that is truly what it's about, but someone on Song Meanings did have an interesting interpretation that I think I talked about in that video as well, but basically saying that it's specifically about unrequited love that fueled him to write in the past, but he wants to move on and be able to write something else. From the lyrics, it's just kind of hard for me to get to that because I can't really point to a specific place where, oh, like it's unrequited love versus just general writer's block, but I don't know, could be. And then Romanticide, I do tend to side with the more general interpretation on this one too, just kind of like a general feeling of being pissed off with the world, but I do see how there is some unrequited love woven into it. I mean, even with the title, like Romanticide. And I talked about in the Once video as well, like how, you know, love is seen as such a positive thing, but he's kind of flipping that around here, like Romanticide, like love is what's going to kill him. A couple lines kind of stick out in the chorus, tell me why, no heart to cry, hang me high. Like he doesn't even have a heart left after everything he's been through. And then the part when it says, a loving heart and soul for sale, Romanticide, till love do me part, and heart bold now turned to stone. The last two verses are all about decay, like giving you images of decay, and it's all kind of following that thread that we started seeing on Century Child of like this unrequited love used to be something that brought him so much inspiration and fuel, and now it is just hurting him and he wants to move on, like it's literally killing him. And saying temporary pain, eternal shame to take part in this devil's chess game. Like the pain of the unrequited love will be temporary, but he will have shame about it forever, and like taking part in falling in love at all was a devil's chess game. Okay, everyone buckle your seatbelts. Ghost love score. We've got so much to unpack here. This one I really see as being directed at her. Like, if you just take the lyrics at face value, like, I guess it's like fantasy stuff, but like even the title points to unrequited love, like ghost love score. Like, it's not there. It's a ghost love. That can be taken like so many different ways. Like, it is a past love that's haunting him. The way I see it is his imaginary love or wished for love. Like I've just kept saying over and over, I feel like I'm a broken record, but like it used to be a good thing. And now it's haunting him. That's how I see it. Like, you don't have to interpret it this way. Like, it could be like ghost love, like a past relationship that's haunting him, but I am going with the unrequited love interpretation, obviously. If you like peek past the very thinly veiled fantasy lyrics at all, like I swear it's just so obvious. But actually some of it wasn't obvious to me until I looked. I think it was on Genius or Song Meanings, I'll say, like when I got certain parts from it, because like I knew it was about Tarja, like the chorus and everything was like super obvious to me, but there were like little things in the verses that I did not connect, so we're gonna get into all of that. Okay, verse 1, we used to swim the same moonlight waters, oceans away from the wakeful day. This is from Song Meanings. Someone pointed out that Moonlight Waters is like the cover of Oceanborn. There are so many references to Oceanborn in here. The same moonlight waters, oceans away from the wakeful day. It gives you this image of being away from reality in like this special little bubble of magic. They're in these moonlight waters together, oceans away from the wakeful day. They're in the night, they're in the magic, they're in the beginning, the innocence, before all the shit went down. Because I think at this point it's safe to say that he's feeling like she's changed because of Marcelo. And yada yada yada. So it's also saying we used to be on the same page, we used to have the same values, because in the open letter he's talking about like how she changed and now she doesn't value the same things anymore. My fall will be for you, my love will be in you, if you be the one to cut me, I'll bleed forever. Pretty self-explanatory. Kind of just gives the same vibes as like Forever Yours and some of those other songs, like we will always be connected, like you're where it all leads. Scent of the sea before the waking of the world brings me to thee and to the blue memory. So again, that blue and ocean imagery. Again, scent of the sea before the waking of the world is kind of like that magical bubble away from reality again. And whenever I am reminded of that, it brings me into this blue memory of that time with you. A siren from the deep came to me, sang my name, my longing. Still I write my songs about that dream of mine, worth everything I may ever be. She's the siren from the deep. This was also from Song Meanings. Like, I am ashamed to say that I like couldn't figure this out by myself. I think now I would have been able to figure it out, like having gone through their lyrics a bit more, but I was actually looking at this like a year ago, like before I even started making these videos. So yeah, she's the siren from the deep that brought his music to life because his lyrics are so personal. Sang my name, my longing. She brought all of this to life. And then his dream was, you know, to make music, and that's what it's still all for, despite any tension and drama in the band. The child will be born again, that siren carried him to me. First of them true loves, singing on the shoulders of an angel without care for love and loss. So from Genius lyrics, I got that the child represents the earlier innocent state of his dream, like kind of when Night was just starting out and it was still just like for fun. They hadn't really had any commercial success yet, like when it was pure and untainted by all the drama in the band, the music industry, all of that. He wants to get that back, and he thinks that Tarja's voice is going to get him the closest to that again. Bring me home or leave me be, my love in the dark heart of the night. I have lost the path before me, the one behind will lead me. So on Genius, someone said that they thought that this was him addressing, like directly addressing his ghost love. The person on Genius was interpreting ghost love as a past failed relationship. I'm going to be taking it as unrequited love, but him saying bring me home or leave me be is like, let this actually happen, like let this come to fruition or leave me alone, because like I can't stand this longing anymore. And then the next line, my love in the dark heart of the night, maybe saying that he's been holding on to like the ghost love for so long that everything has gone dark around him, like he's alone in the dark with it. I'm not really sure, just that he feels lost. And then the next line is, I have lost the path before me. On Genius, someone said the one behind that will lead him is that raw dream, like the child before everything got in the way. It's a little bit unclear, so I'm not really sure, like maybe it's that or like his past innocent self. Take me, cure me, kill me, bring me home, every way, every day, just another loop in the hangman's noose. I would say that this is continuing that message directed at his ghost love. I do think that bring me home here and before could also, instead of meaning come to fruition, mean like take me back to innocence, because he has kind of used home to mean like childhood innocence before. And he's saying that, you know, every day that goes by, it's just getting worse. Like it's bringing me closer to this love killing me, like Romanticide. It's just another loop in the hangman's noose. And then it repeats and then says, every way, every day I keep on watching us sleep, relive the old sin of Adam and Eve, of you and me, forgive that. I keep wanting to like say it how it's said in the song, the adoring beast, but it's like the adoring beast. Anyway, not quite sure about I keep on watching us sleep, but I do think that the adoring beast is a reference, you know, back to those previous songs where he's referred to himself as the beast. He's adored her for years, you know, with Silent Devotion from Ocean Soul, quietly and alone, and he feels that he doesn't even deserve it and needs some kind of forgiveness. Redeem me into childhood, showing myself without the shell, like the advent of May. I'll be there when you say time to never hold our love. And then the chorus repeats but with changed lyrics, which we'll get to in a second. But redeem me into childhood obviously is like take me back to innocence. The shell is the kind of the protective armor that we put on as adults that is what keeps us from actually going back to that childhood innocence. So I think he might be talking to his ghost love again, or just to her, like wanting to get that back and lose his shell. The chorus changes from if you be the one to cut me I'll bleed forever to you were the one to cut me so I'll bleed forever, because she was the one to cut him by not returning his feelings, and he will always be suffering because of that. Like time isn't gonna heal it. It's not gonna fix this pain. Yeah, that's Ghost Love Score for ya. And then just quickly I'm gonna go through White Knight Fantasy and Live to Tell the Tale. I don't know if these are meant to be about her, but I feel like White Knight Fantasy could be Tarja related because of the Angel pseudonym again, and we have the line love is here, right here under my wings. It's basically another song that has like fantasy lyrics that can be taken at face value or dug into deeper. So in terms of the Tarja interpretation, we have actually a bit where it's from her perspective again, which we haven't seen in a while, because in my opinion, everything on Send Your Child and Once until this is from his perspective, which is kind of when we lost that playfulness. It's just the chorus. I forgot that these lyrics aren't in there. Crestfallen soul, rest for this night, love is here, right here, under my wings, would be like the angel, or Tarja talking to him, who is the weary traveler, but it's not sensual like some of those other lyrics from her point of view were. It's just comforting, like a lullaby, like something he could take comfort in. And then Live to Tell the Tale, I just had to touch on this one part of it that says, dark chambers of my mind locked around the neck of my love, none of you understand, and it doesn't matter to a broken marionette like me. It kind of ties into what we've seen with the other songs, like his love used to inspire him and now it's hurting him. That's kind of the first two lines there. Unrequited love is very isolating and he knows that no one else could get it, but it doesn't matter to him anymore. And also the line, an errant soul, homeless and foul, it's kind of like he's lost without the light that his love used to give him. Could be stretching it, I don't know, but it does have the line, dark chambers of my mind locked around the neck of my love. Like, it's mentioned, so I feel like it could connect. Someone on Song Meanings was very convinced that this was about unrequited love, so I'm not the only one. Anyway, now we will go to Dark Passion Play. Okay. Took a quick break to get a throat lozenge and recurl my hair, which is like the third or fourth time I've done that today, believe it or not, because I also filmed part 1 today. I am like literally losing it. My hair doesn't curl. Like this side like looks semi-okay. I just redid that side and it is straight and it literally makes me want to pull my hair out of my head. So I'm just, yeah, if you can't tell, I'm getting a little bit annoyed, but that's okay. It's okay. We're gonna do Dark Passion Play. No one cares about my hair problems. So obviously this is post-split. The split happened with Tarja after their End of an Era concert on their Once tour. So we now have Annette Olsen as the singer, and this album is largely about kind of that second loss of innocence that happened with Nightwish, or at least how I see what happened in the lyrics. The first one being between Wishmaster and Sentry Child, when it kind of became real. There started to be tensions in the band. They were having a lot of commercial success. It wasn't just something they were doing for fun anymore. And at this point, they've all just gone through this like horrible period of tension and drama and are now dealing with kind of the aftermath of that. And this album was in many ways for TUOMAS a catharsis of kind of getting out all of his feelings into the lyrics. So I'm going to be going through a couple diss tracks and songs that I see as potentially referencing Tarja on here. But this is it. I don't see any more references in the lyrics after this. If anyone has any ideas, let me know. But I think this is the last album that references her. So the poem and the Pendulum, I'm not going to go into specifics because there aren't really any lines that stand out as particularly being about her more than others, but overall it seems to be his guilt about how things went down, like how he handled things and how much he suffered because of it. I do have a full video going over the general interpretation of that song if you're interested. And then Bye Bye Beautiful. Okay, I wrote a lot about this one in my notes. There is a lot to talk about. This is the most blatant diss track. Like, everyone knows this is about her. Like, literally, if you listen to 2 seconds of the song. So I'm going to try to kind of break it down. Verse 1, finally the hills are without eyes. They're tired of painting a dead man's face red with their own blood. They used to love having so much to lose. Blink your eyes just once and see everything in ruin. I'm not sure why it says the hills are without eyes. Someone on Genius said that it's basically representing the feeling of constantly being watched is gone because they were having to like deal with Marcello and everything, and they can kind of just do their own thing again without constantly have everything like second guessed or questioned. So I can kind of see that. Painting a dead man's face red with their own blood is kind of like doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, or just like self-sabotage, or continuing to hope for things to change or get better when they're not going to, like just kind of blindly hoping that things will get better, which is like what happened in the band. I'm just not really sure, like, is they still referring to the hills? Like, I don't think so, right? They is then referring to the band. They used to love having so much to lose would be the band again, like their early good memories. They had so much to lose when they were just starting out and everything was going well. And then if you just blink your eyes once, you can see it all go away. And that's what almost happened. Like, the whole thing almost fell apart. And then the chorus. Did you ever hear what I told you? Did you ever read what I wrote you? Did you ever listen to what we played? Did you ever let in what the words said? Did we get this far just to feel your hate? Did we play to become only pawns in the game? How blind can you be not to see? You chose the long road, but we'll be waiting. Bye bye beautiful. And we have Marco singing that beautiful part. Seems to be pretty straightforward. It's frustration with how Tarja like changed because of Marcelo. If you haven't read the open letter, I would recommend reading it before you watch this video if you need a little refresher on everything TUOMAS says there. But essentially he was frustrated with like how much she changed because of Marcelo. She only cared about money and fame and not the music anymore is how he kind of put it there. So it's like, did you ever actually read any of these lyrics? Did you ever listen? Like, were you ever really a part of this? I always thought it was, did you ever let in what the words said, as in like the words of the music, like kind of appreciation for what we're doing. But it's actually apparently what the world said. I don't own this album, so I don't have the little sleeve thingy like I was using for the other ones, but like I guess like what fans said about their music and stuff maybe. And did we get this far just to feel your hate? Did we play to become only pawns in the game? Like, did we go through everything together just for you and Marcelo to betray us? And did we get this far to just be part of your plan for success, basically? And TUOMAS also kind of insinuated in the letter that she was letting Marcelo like blind her to reality and just like blindly following him. So kind of saying that like, you're gonna keep believing that this is the right thing to do, like to be with him and to follow him, and you're not gonna realize how much he changed you and like how much you've lost until it's too late. Like you chose the long road, but we'll be waiting like when you understand that, I think is what that means. Okay, verse 2, Jacob's ghost for the girl in white, blindfold for the blind, dead siblings walking the dying earth. Noose around the choking heart, eternity torn apart, slow toll now the funeral bells, I need to die to feel alive. Someone on Genius pointed out that Jacob's ghost for the girl in white is a reference to A Christmas Carol when Scrooge is visited by the ghost of his old business partner, Jacob Marley, who has passed away, and he's basically warning Scrooge, but like because of actions he took in his life and like how he didn't live a good life, he was punished in death, and he doesn't want the same thing to happen to Scrooge, and so that's how he arranges like the three ghosts to see him or whatever. And so I think that it could be comparing that to her, maybe like warning her that, you know, she's going down a bad path or something, is like saying for the girl in white. Blindfold for the blind, I'm not sure if it's about her blindness or if it's about their blindness, because TUOMAS has expressed like he was frustrated that he didn't do something about the situation earlier, like he just kind of turned a blind eye to it and let it happen, just kind of thinking that it would get better. So I'm not sure if it's like two separate lines, as in blindfold for the blind and then dead siblings walking the dying earth, or if the dead siblings that are walking the dying earth are blind, because then if it was that case, I would say that TUOMAS refers to himself as the dead boy, so maybe the dying siblings is, the dead siblings is like all of the band members kind of walking around the ruins of the band, or like when it was deteriorating as they were blind to what was going on. Noose around the choking heart, he was already in so much pain because of his unrequited love for Tarja, and then everything that happened with her and Marcelo, like betraying them, like isolating themselves, turning away from the rest of the band, and how she changed. Like not only did he, not that she belonged to TUOMAS, but you know what I mean? Like not only did he like take her away from him, but then he changed her into like this person that TUOMAS didn't like anymore and blah blah blah. So like that would be the noose around the choking heart, I think. Eternity torn apart, like the band could have gone on forever, but that was all ruined. Maybe like TUOMAS thought that's how it would be before everything fell apart, and slow toll now the funeral bells would be like the impending doom of the band falling apart. So if we kind of take all those lines together, it's like the first line is a warning, and then it's how they were blind to everything and everything was kind of deteriorating, and there were all these signs that things weren't going to go well and that the eternity was going to be torn apart. It's not the tree that forsakes the flower, but the flower that forsakes the tree. Someday I'll love to learn these scars still fresh from the red hot blade of your words. How blind can you be? Don't you see that the gambler lost all does he not have? And then repeats the chorus again. Apparently that quote in the bridge about the tree and the flower is a quote from the Count of Monte Cristo. I don't really know how that connects, but again, this might be a little too deep, but I see it as like the flower is a part of the tree, just like Tarja was a part of the band, and so TUOMAS is saying, you know, in her opinion, we were the ones who were the problem, and like we were the ones doing everything wrong, but it was actually her who ruined everything or something. She's the flower in that situation. And then the next part about someday I'll learn to love these scars, in the letter TUOMAS kind of talked about like how they had some like arguments toward the end and stuff, so like maybe her words hurt him so much but he is scarred, and maybe someday he'll look back and appreciate how they made him stronger, but right now there's still like a fresh wound. I'm not sure what the gambler line really means. Maybe it's in TUOMAS's point of view, like he sees it as she lost her true friends and the connection they shared, but she never even really appreciated it. I don't know, but overall it's basically just TUOMAS's way of working out his feelings about what happened, both his frustrations with TARJA and how blind he and the other band members were to not do something about the problem sooner. Next we have Cadence of Her Last Breath. It's kind of like fantasy lyrics that could be taken as a little bit of a TARJA reference. I personally do really believe that it's somehow related to her. Running for her life, the dark rain from her eyes still falls. Breathtaking butterfly chose a dark day to live, save one breath for me. A loner longing for the cadence of her last breath. Why do I miss someone I have never met? With bated breath I lay. Sea winds brought her to me, a butterfly, mere one day miracle of life. And all the poetry in the world finally makes sense to me, save one death for me. A loner longing for the cadence of her last breath. Put to rest all that's not life. Drink for beauty and fill my blank page. Sometimes a dream turns into a dream. And then it repeats the chorus again. So I think this one might be a little bit of his guilt at kind of how he handled things and how upset she was maybe a little bit if we're taking this interpretation. So in the first verse, she's running for her life and she's crying that dark rain from her eyes. She's this beautiful and unique person and she chose a dark day to live because that's the day like that they kicked her out maybe. And then the part in the second verse when it says sea winds brought her to me, that kind of goes back to the whole Siren thing. I really can't see that any other way. She came into his life as like this butterfly, mere one day miracle of life, and all the poetry in the world finally made sense to him as he fell in love with her and he wrote these songs for her voice and they had this beautiful relationship before it all went south. And then the part when it says drink for beauty and fill my blank page is how she inspired his music and how she was his muse and his inspiration. And then the line, sometimes a dream turns into a dream. Someone on Song Meanings literally hit the nail on the head here. It was like a dream for him, for her to be singing his songs, but now she's just a dream to him altogether, not only because she's not in the band anymore, but because she's not even the person that he used to know. The chorus is maybe like how he like metaphorically killed her by kicking her out or something, by like how upset she was and the media circus that surrounded it. Like that's her last breath. I don't know. I feel more strongly about the other parts that I just went through, but that's that. And then we have Master Passion Greed. So I talked about how Bye Bye Beautiful was kind of his way of working out his frustrations with TARJA. I think this one is how he worked out his frustrations with Marcelo. It has Slaying the Dreamer vibes, just like being pissed off, but it is very clearly directed at Marcelo. Who the hell are you to tell me what to do, why bother? Leech and a mask of virtue, such a waste to ever think of you again. I think that since Marcelo was TARJA's personal manager, he kind of tried to control things and dictate things, and TUOMAS is like, what the heck, bro? Like, this is my band. And Leech and a Mask of Virtue, like, they all kind of got along at first, like, he seemed like a good person, and it turned out that he ended up, like, in TUOMAS's point of view, sucking all the life and goodness out of Nightwish and TARJA. Like, that's the Leech part. And TUOMAS has talked multiple times about, like, how greedy he is and stuff. Hey Judas, your Christus was our love. Christus. I can't pronounce things. Hit and Run, Your Will Be Done, Never Sorry, Never Wrong, More, Master Passion Greed. From Genius, Christus is a female version of Christ, and Judas betrayed Christ. So again, it's speaking to how Marcelo changed her. She used to be a good person and a good friend to them before him. It was like his way or the highway. He never apologized and would never admit to making a mistake. He always just wanted more and more money. And then, hello, how are you? Let me explain one thing. All for her and more for me. Why is it so hard to see? I see no sense in doing this. Not enough for me. I fuck up everything, but let me explain. Someday you shall flee, panting and weak. I think that the first part of that is from Marcelo's point of view, like kind of walking into the band and being like, okay, this is how it's gonna be, like we need more money, we need this, this, and this for Tarja. And for me, on Genius, someone pointed out that I see no sense in doing this, is how he would like say, oh, we can't do this show because like it's not profitable enough. And basically he just didn't share the same values as the rest of the band in TUOMAS's opinion. And then I would say when it says I fuck up everything, it's TUOMAS's point of view again, because like he's saying the next part, the someday you shall flee panting and weak, is directed at Tarja, like saying someday you're gonna realize who he is and like how this has all happened, and you're going to flee like panting and weak at that point because of how he's worn you down over the years. And then all within me gone but pain and hope, hoping that the pain would fade away. Greed, your master passion, I feed the mouth that bites me. Mammon, opiate of the masses, the reek of your lies draws flies. Greed, your master passion, like that whole part kind of illuminates the meaning of the title, like saying that greed is Marcelo's master passion, like what rules his life according to TUOMAS. And on Genius, someone pointed out that mammon, I don't know if I'm saying that right, is material wealth or greed, and saying like that's what rules him basically. Then we have seek her, seduce her, tame her, blame her, have her, kill her, seek her, seduce her, tame her, blame her, feast on it all. And it repeats that with awakening the tears will begin, to my everlasting shame silence took me. So obviously that part with all of the things that Marcelo did is just like how he like corrupted Tarja. He sought her, seduced her, tamed her, blamed her, etc. Like the tame, I think it was either on Song Meanings or Genius that someone pointed out that that was kind of like an interesting image there, because it made it sound like she was a wild animal or something, but it's essentially saying that he, you know, changed her and controlled her and all this stuff. Oh, and then feast on it all is like just how much he enjoyed it. And then the last two lines are TUOMAS being angry at himself for being silent while things got worse, kind of like what I've been saying, like we've been seeing in the other songs, like kind of just like expecting that things would get better, turning a blind eye. He's going to have shame about that. Like with awakening the tears will begin, like as he came to the realization of everything, that's when it got sad, like when he finally acknowledged what had happened and kind of how everything had deteriorated. And it was really saddening, and he was so ashamed that he let this happen and didn't do something about it earlier. Eva potentially could have some kind of a connection because she was bullied in school, but I highly doubt this is actually about her. I don't know, like it could just be some kind of reference to like how young and innocent she was before everything changed, but probably not. Finally, we have For the Heart I Once Had. In general, the song does seem to be about mourning the loss of childhood innocence, but I do think it is specifically in reference to the innocence lost in the split. Like I talked about at the beginning, kind of how there was that second loss of innocence. A couple of lines specifically kind of make me think of it being specifically about Tarja, like at the end of the first verse, as another love goes cold, and the music flows because it longs for the heart I once had, like memories of the good times that continue to inspire him. Because like I do think is like saying for the heart I once had, like the heart that was innocent, but also the heart that loved her, like before all this happened too. And she used to be his muse and like brought the music to life, and he can never get that back now. Also like my weak and hoping heart, that line as well. Time will not heal a dead boy's scars, time will kill. We've kind of seen that on Once, that sentiment that like I will always be in pain because of his unrequited love, time isn't going to heal it. So we kind of see that here again, like the scars that he's gotten from all of the turmoil and everything, and from the unrequited love from her, are never going to heal. It's just gonna make it worse. So yeah, I think that's all I had to say about that. Let me know if I missed anything or if you guys had any other interpretations, but that was my videos. Wow, it feels so good to finish that because I've been like thinking about that and planning that for the longest time, literally. But yeah, that is all. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it if you watched this video and the last one because they took a lot of time and effort. So I really appreciate you being here. Thank you. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you'd like to see more content, and let me know what kind of other videos you would like to see in the comments. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this. Bye.